The head of MI5 has warned of renewed al-Qaeda plots to massacre huge numbers of civilians in Britain and other Western countries. We know that terrorists based in Syria harbour ambitions towards the UK, trying to direct attacks against our country and exhorting extremists here to act independently. We will still face more complex and ambitious plots that follow the now sadly well-established approach of al-Qaeda and its imitators, attempts to cause large-scale loss of life, often by attacking transport systems or iconic targets. We know, for example, that a group of core al-Qaeda terrorists in Syria is planning mass casualty attacks against the West. Andrew Parker made the comments in a rare speech at the Security Service headquarters in London. At least 3 British volunteers have been killed fighting for al-Qaeda in Syria. The group's experts, who moved there from Pakistan and Iran, may be planning to use other Brits to attack the UK. They are known to be led by Muhsin al-Fadli, an expert bomb maker who's wanted by the FBI. He moved to Syria 2 years ago and was unsuccessfully targeted in a coalition airstrike last year. The domestic spy chief spoke hours after UK's Cobra Committee ordered a boost to national security.
We took the precautionary step yesterday of increasing security at the French-UK border. The UK threat level remains at severe. That means that a terrorist attack is highly likely and the public should remain vigilant.
Extra police have already been deployed at British ports and stations serving the Eurostar. Armed officers are going to be seen in ever greater numbers. But lone wolf plots aimed at the police and military have surged over the last year, which, combined with the Paris killings, has spread unease among officers charged with protecting the public.
It's a huge worry for us. You know, there is a particular increased threat to police officers at the moment. There have been a number of attacks foiled in different parts of the country. But I can tell you that officers are very concerned about it. They see what happens in France. Clearly we are an unarmed police force, but it is the nature of that threat which is worrying. But despite that, our officers go out there and do their duty.
Such concerns from police on the front line reflect similar fears in the intelligence community. Put simply, the world is getting more dangerous. Sam?
Now, French media have been running this image in the last few minutes of the man believed to be the hostage taker involved in the incident going on inside Paris at the moment in the Avenue de Porte de Vincennes. It was suggested he was an older man. He's believed to be wearing body armor and heavily armed, and it's thought now that he was responsible for the shooting of the policewoman in the southern suburbs of Paris yesterday, and he is now holding several hostages, maybe as many as 5, at a kosher grocery in the east centre of Paris. And there are reports from more than one news agency here in France now that there could be fatalities.
Links now between the death of this policewoman in southern Paris yesterday and the incident at Charlie Hebdo on Wednesday morning.
Yes, the authorities saying in the past hour that they now have established a link between the shooting yesterday morning of Clarissa Jean-Philippe, the traffic police officer who was shot by a gunman with an assault rifle around the start of the rush hour in southern Paris yesterday, less than 24 hours after the Charlie Hebdo shootings. Now, at the time, the authorities said they weren't aware of any link, and that struck a lot of us, I think, as a surprise. You know, what a coincidence that you should have 2 very similar shootings within 24 hours. But they now say, the French authorities, that they have established a link. We don't know what it is. I think their initial response was they didn't think that their 2 suspects, the Kouachi brothers, were responsible for yesterday's shooting. Perhaps that's what they meant when they didn't. They weren't prepared to talk about any link. Now they have a link, they say, established. We don't know exactly what that link is, but we do know that the man who killed Clarissa Jean-Philippe yesterday morning has been on the run ever since. A man described as North African appearance, carrying an assault rifle with which he used to shoot her once in the head, wearing a bulletproof vest. to all intents and purposes dressed very much like the two suspects from the previous day's shooting.